What's going on, people? There's a few things that I want to talk about, maybe three or four things that I actually want to talk about. Number one, the first thing that I actually truly want to talk about is resource, is us as a black people and resources and so on. One of the things that I want to say about us as a black people and the things that have we actually been going through, the things that we have been doing is it's kind of a little bit kind of heartbreaking if you truly think about it. And when I say if you truly think about it, is that I mean we march, we complained, we cried, we shed our tears. In the past, at least past 5 years, those are the things that has been repetitive with black people, with black folks. And I'm not saying we don't have the right to complain. I'm not saying that we don't have the right to cry. I'm not saying we don't have the right. We have every single right to show every kind of emotion and being mistreated and being uh, put in situations where we shouldn't be put in the first place. However, with that said, uh, I feel like marching is not enough. I feel like we should do more. And I'm not talking about rioting or anything like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not, I want us to get out of that mindset that we have to riot, that we have to march, or that we have to do this, or we have to uh, uh, mark signs and T-shirts and so on and so on. I want us to truly get out of that mindset because we've been so focused on that mindset every time somebody get mistreated or killed or so on and so on. And we've been so focused that looking for justice that we truly forget that in the process of complaining that we got to put action behind so many things. And I just can't stress it. It's been spoken about. It's been talked about over and over and over again. There has been so many people in the past, so many leaders in the past that had say the same thing that I'm about to say right now to every black person or whoever's actually going to be listening to this video. You know, I understand the things that we're going through. I understand the pain. I deal with racism all the time. But one of the things that I actually want to mention is that we need to start building. And I'm not talking about as far as building like I'm talking about building every aspect in economy, in our resources, in our finances, and so on and so on. I mean, I see so many people who will put rims on their car immediately after they get a car. I see so many people, or so many black people, mainly black people, that will buy, new Jordans every time they come out. Spend $200 or $300 or $400 on a pair of Jordans or a pair of shoes and a jersey and a T-shirt and a hat and so on, and they got to match and this and this and that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't look good. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we should use our money more wisely in order for us to have a better future. We should invest, or we should invest in ourselves, or we should spend at least a part of that money, or put it away and use maybe $100 and put yourself some limits. Now, I'm not saying if you do have money like that, then go ahead, spend whatever you want to spend. But if you don't have money like that, and if you're taking up your whole check trying to wear Michael Jordans, or try to wear this, or trying to wear that, then something is wrong. Something is wrong. If you're broke because you're trying to do this, or you're trying to fit in with something else, then something is completely wrong. Use that money. Use $200 or $100. If it's $200 shoe, slash 100, put it away, and only spend maybe $50 or $60 or $70 on a pair of shoes. I mean, come on, really, let's get realistic. Use our money wisely. Let us build our resources. Let us build an economy for a better future for us, for a better future for our kids, for a better future for the next generation. Whatever it may be, let us start doing things a little bit more wisely. Let's start using our money wisely. Let's start spending our money wisely. What does that have anything to do with building? Well, if we start investing and maybe investing in doing this or doing that, or invested in buildings, or invested in what I mean in buildings, real estate, or investing in gold, or whatever it may be, we need to start investing. I know this is hard to say, but the majority of the times that we invest, or majority of the times that we actually get something, or we become successful, is not very often that you will hear that that person who is successful will teach the next person, or buy another building, or buy this and say, okay, well, I'll give you this and I'll buy this, but you're going to have to work it as much as you possibly can work it in order for you to be successful. I'm going to teach you this. I'm not going to give you, I'm going to teach you. For some reason, so many black people want things given to them. So many. I'm not saying all black people. I'm saying so many black people want things just handed to them, given to them. And you're not supposed to, I mean, there is no rebuilding when things are handed to you. I remember when I was trying to teach somebody how to get into a certain business or whatever, or I was showing them a certain business that they got to get into, and I sent them an email, and of course they had to pretty much read the email, and they didn't want to read the email. They wanted to look at a video. I mean, come on, that's where we come from now. How do you expect to run a business if you choose not to read? You're going to have to learn to read in order for you to, or you're going to have to read, in order for you to run a business. Simple as that. And those are the things that I'm actually talking about. If you want a better future, the first thing you got to start with is personal edification. You're going to have to develop personal skills, personal sets, this and so on and so on. And certain people was willing to teach that, but if you're unwilling to receive it, then there's no purpose to teach it. So black people, I mean, you got to be willing to receive. You've got to be willing to learn. You got to be willing and have that desire and that passion to rebuild. It is time for us to pave our own roads. It is time for us to do what we need to do best, and that's build our community instead of just complaining about what this person is doing all the time, and what this race is doing all the time, and what this race is doing so many times. Instead of keep complaining about the system, I know we're doing the best we can to try to change the system, but it's not good enough. That means that we're going to have to start building a little bit more. There's always a loophole. There's always this. There's always that. Come on, people. It is time for us to move forward from just complaining. It's time for us to develop action. It's time for us to start moving our resources. How many times have we heard that from different kind of leaders, from women, from rappers, from just so many different people we have heard this from? We choose not to do it. We choose not to do it. I don't know what's really holding us back, whether it's just we're too busy complaining and too busy being emotional about things that happen. Again, I understand the emotions. Again, I understand the things that is going on. However, at the same time, we still got to move forward for our next generation. We have to move forward for our next generation. We got to build for our next generation. We don't want our next generation to experience the very thing that is actually going on with us now, even though they are experiencing it. We don't want our next generation kids experience the very things that we have to go through right now. So we have to start building. We have to start doing something. We have to start laying a foundation. We have to start teaching our next generation. We have to start speaking about economics. We have to start speaking about the value of money. And we just got to do it. Second of all, we have to treat each other better. I'm sorry, we do. I mean, it just almost seems like we're so focused on entertainment, hoping that the celebrities can actually lead us to some sort of promised land or whatnot. Let me tell you, that's not going to happen. Sorry, that's not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. That's the end of this video. There's so much to actually say. I'm just not going to really truly say it. I don't have that much time to actually say it. So if you could actually pass on this message. I know I didn't really say everything that I wanted to say. I might make another video in continuance of this particular video. But God bless. Thank you for watching.